here we are. A little adventure, something a bit different for me. Rainbow Lake. Peg 18. Saturday, it's just gone 4 o'clock. We was allowed on at 2. It's taken us a couple of hours to get everything set up. It's absolutely chucking it down. The weather though, early October, looks absolutely mega. Big strong westerly pushing into us. Overcast, 15 degrees, the air pressure's low. I've never fished anywhere like this before in my life. In fact, I've hardly ever fished using one of them things, so it's going to be a little bit of an experience. But we're here for a definite week, possibly 2 weeks. There's loads of big fish in here. Me, Harry's over there, and yeah, let's see what we can do. Rainbow Lakes 2020. Right, well the rods have been out probably about an hour since we put the last rod out. What do you reckon, Harry? About an hour?
Yeah, not even that long to be fair.
And
to go in as well.
I've only gone and bloody caught one, and it's pretty big. I don't know how big it is. What do you reckon? It's probably a 40-pounder. I am absolutely buzzing. First Rainbow Lakes carp. Come from, can't really see, a bit poor there. Basically, the end of our island. Yeah, what an incredible fight. Rod hooked over, walked it back. Bit of a nice sun view of the swim, got a reflective tape on. Yeah, first bite, first fish landed. Happy, happy days. Oh, overnight, absolutely ripped it down. First light this morning, another bite from the mighty Rainbow. 36.5-pound, lovely grey mirror carp. And the weather is looking bang on for a few more. He's off. Result. Oh my Charlie. That was a bit airy. We said that one again though, didn't we?
Yeah.
No. It's good on that. Good 40 anyway.
Oh, me old boy.
Another one. An absolutely stunning second evening out here at Rainbow. It's been relentless rain ever since we set up yesterday at about 3 o'clock. The action on the fish front, I'm up to 6 fish now, which to be honest with you is more than I ever expected in the whole week. I haven't done nothing groundbreaking, kept it very, very simple and just fished for one bite at a time. I know Rainbow's been about for years, but this is, like I say, my very, very first time of coming here. Fishing from a boat is not something that I would usually do. I'm pretty pants in a boat. I'll probably do quite a few 360s on the way out to the spot, certainly when the wind's up. But it's all about learning, and just look at that for a glorious French sunset. Going into the second night, spirits are high. Harry had a lovely 56 pounder this morning. I've had, like I say, 6, had a few more today, up to 41 pound. And with the best part of the week still to go, who knows what's going to happen. Well, last night was quiet. It poured hard all night. This morning the sun come out, and even though I'm fishing braid with a tight line, you can get any, like, registers any indication. And I'd had a couple of liners, and being the impatient person that I am, I was going to redo it, and Harry's like, no, leave it, and it's just gone. And I don't really know what to say. I don't know how big it is. I'm no real expert, but I've already had them to 54. And that's a damn sight lot bigger than 54 pound. Oh my God, I'm blown away. Oh, we'll get it out. I've only just caught it. I'm gonna give it a few minutes. I'm gonna get it in this retainer, take it to the mat, flipping out. I don't know what to say. That is a massive, massive carp. Yes. How about that? 60 pound and 4 ounces. Mega. A couple of pictures there. There he goes. Look at the size of him. Yes! Yes! Right, so a little update. It is now Monday morning here in Swim 18, and yeah, last night very, very quiet. We could see sort of the island swim, and 19, they went out in the boat a couple of times, so I'm assuming they had a couple of fish. But for us, to know it's just gone quiet, and I don't do enough of this sort of fishing to sort of fully understand it, but speaking to a few people, when it goes quiet, it's normally when the shoal fish, the 30s and 40s, you know, and in here they class them as a 50 as well, but to me they're all big fish, they move away, and the big fish are sort of loitering around. And yeah, this rod here of mine, which is on the far left, fishing up to, there's a tiny little golden tree, you can almost just make it out there. It's about 150 yards up. I'd had a couple of liners, and even though we're fishing with a 10-ounce lead, braid straight through to a mono leader, you still register a liner. Now, it probably does move the lead a little bit, but it's really, really sandy where I'm fishing, and I'm not overly fussed. But yeah, I was a bit sort of itchy feet wanting to move it, but Harry, who I'm with, he convinced me, just leave it. And lo and behold, the tip's just pulled over, bobbing up to the top, the lead's ejected, big eruption on the surface. I'm only fishing in about 10 feet of water, and all the way in it just felt different. And yeah, first bite on Monday morning, 60 pounds, 4 ounces. I am blown away. Before I come here, I set myself a challenge and a target that if I caught a 50 pounder, I'd be over the moon. but to catch a 60 is just out of this world, and it's only Monday. We've been here 2 nights. Absolutely phenomenal place, and for the first time since we've been here, there's nice blue sky. How long it's going to last for, who knows? But 2 rods apiece out there, all locked up, fishing over to the snags. It is looking bang on, and I can certainly think of a lot worse ways to spend a Monday. Right, well, it's now Tuesday, and yeah, as you can see, bivvy bound once again. The rain is absolutely horrendous. Got my light on, I've got my cooker on because I'm absolutely soaked to the bone. So I've just been out to re-drop a rod, and the action, to be honest, has slowed up slightly. No more fish, haven't had a bite now for 24 hours, but before I came, I set myself a goal and a target to catch a 50-pound plus carp from Rainbow, and I did that first night. So to be honest with you, it was mission accomplished. But I'm not here for a week to give up on the first night. There's plenty of bigger fish in here, and so far I've had 8 fish. Yesterday I was fortunate enough to have another 52 pounds 11 ounces, and just prior to catching that, I struck gold, and I had a 60 pounds 4 ounce common, which is absolutely phenomenal, and yeah, beyond my wildest dreams. But the next few days, the weather's coming in nice. Hopefully, we're fishing to them snags that you can just see through there. Hopefully, as the weather improves, I don't have to sit round huddling this or working my way through the entire contents of my food bag, and I can spend a bit more time in the tackle box preparing rigs, because we are hopefully catching a few more fish. But yeah, that's an update as of Tuesday. Let's see what the rest of the week brings. Right, so it's now Wednesday. The action has been a little bit slow for the past couple of days, for one reason or another. I've had a hell of a lot of rain. I think all that cold rainwater coming down off the island and yeah, rolling in over the spots hasn't produced. You know, we've been up on the shelf, sort of further down the shelf, past the trees, just sort of searching out the depths really, but nothing's happened. Lost a couple, which is the nature of this place. It's a lot more savage than I ever expected it to be. But today, as you can probably see behind, it's a lovely clear day. The sun's come out at different intervals, so I've literally, after not having a bite on one rod for probably 16 hours, gone out there with another rod, wound it in as I've gone. It's too savage to actually wind the rig in from the bank. Gone all the way out there, lifted one rod up, dropped another rod back in, a little bit closer to the island. 2 handfuls of 24mm straight krill active over the top, rode it back, and yeah, 15 minutes later, you can probably see, sat down there, we've got another rainbow carp in the net, which I believe takes me to double figures. So yeah, by Wednesday, 10 fish on the bank. Obviously I've lost a couple as well, which I think is just part and parcel of fishing here, but I'm absolutely loving it. I'm well out of my comfort zone. I'm totally crap in a boat. Definitely something that I need to improve on, something I would definitely do more of. But with 3 nights left to go, who knows what could happen. A proper monster could still be on the cards. But like I've already said, if nothing else happens, or certainly I don't catch anything bigger than what I've already caught, my dream was to come here and catch a 50-pounder. I've had a couple of those and a 60. So really, you know, it's target achieved, dream come true, but a long way from home, 3 nights to go. It's not over just yet. It's certainly been a frustrating couple of days. No real action, lost a couple, which is part and parcel of fishing here, I suppose. But this 30-pound common has just come to say hello. I literally went out with a rod already baited, picked up a rod that had been out there for sort of 12 to 16 hours, dropped this one down, come back, 15 minutes later, away she goes. Wednesday today. Fingers crossed for Big Fish Thursday.
Well done, mate. Let's get her back.
Cheers, mate. There she goes. Lovely. Want to catch a big one. A restaurant with a view.
Cheers.
The local pizza coming up trumps. And even I'm having, well, apparently they're not beers. What are they called?
Desperado, boy.
I'm going to try one of them. I've run out of Coke. Lovely. Well, not the intended carp species, but when they're this big, we're not going to just chuck them back without a photograph. Nice big grassy, coming out of 8 foot of water right at the back of a snag. No dramas getting this one out. Jumps out of bed. Yeah, give it the butt, got him out, and yeah, hopefully a few more to come through the night. Well, today is supposed to be Big Fish Thursday. We're most of the way through it now. I had a grass carp in the night, another small one this morning, and a lost one as well, which, oh, I don't know. It's a gutter. It felt all right. It's very hard to say. I'm fishing a fair way out. To be honest with you, I'm not really too sure. I wouldn't have minded betting that the line was hooked over something prior to the bite, and it just made it feel that little bit bigger. But anyway, I never landed it. But Harry's out in the boat now, as you can probably see him. Whereabouts is he? He's about there. He's just dropping a rod. He's just had a bream. Yeah, like I say, Big Fish Thursday today, supposedly. Who knows what will happen? This place is proper beat me up. Before I come out here, I sort of come out, well, I've had it arranged to come for a good few years now. Haven't pestered people for information on where to fish out here. All I've really wanted to find out from people is, you know, the tackle, because the tackle that we're using is like nothing that I've ever used before. And to be honest with you, I don't suppose there's many lakes about that you would be using this tackle again to this magnitude, but I'll run through that in a little bit. Yeah, so I think at the start of the week, we hit the ground running with quite a few early bites, fishing a little bit away from the snags, which was brilliant. And as you do, you know, the weather changed, the bites had dried up, and we went a little bit ambitious and went a little bit too close to the back. And even though we've landed a couple of fish from fishing a little bit further up the back, we've also lost a couple as well. So I think the sort of Tuesday, Wednesday sort of time, the past 48 hours, we've wasted sort of, you know, a couple of days really trying to be a little bit ambitious. But today we've come away from the snags back to the spots where we was fishing before. Nothing yet as such apart from a bream, but I'm a lot more confident now that if that rod goes over, we're going to be landing one. But like I said, before I come out here, I didn't want to pester anyone, because I know a lot of people come to Rainbow and, you know, the expectation's high of catching a real monster. But for me, this was just a personal, you know, a personal challenge, somewhere that I've always wanted to come. It's been on my bucket list of lakes to fish for years and years. And coming to somewhere like this isn't about trying to better or, you know, catch a carp to someone else's standards. It's about what you want to personally achieve. And looking back now, if nothing else happens on the fishing front, I've come all this way and my dream was to catch a 50. And not only have I done that, I've had a 60 as well. And that to me is a dream come true. The next load of anglers might come in this peg and they might catch 35, 40 fish. But you know what? If they know the venue, good luck to them. But for me, it's been an absolutely phenomenal trip. And with 48 hours left to go, you literally don't know what's going to happen. But one thing I would say, and I do like my sleep, is that any other venue that I go to, if you're laying in bed at night and you get a beep or you get a couple of beeps, you can sort of roll over, you know, turn the receiver off, investigate the situation, see what's going on. If you get a beep on here, you literally are out. You know, whatever you think it may be, one beep, you're on your rod, because literally one beep is a bite. So as much as it has been nice to come away as a bit of a holiday, yeah, you very, very rarely sleep. And even though there's two of you here, like we're doubled up, obviously fishing out of the same peg, you know, well, you take your eye off it for 1 second and you get a bite, it's game over. So yeah, as much as it has been a holiday, it's hardly been a holiday for sleeping. But a couple more days to go. I'm going to yeah, cross everything for one last, or should I say a couple of last bites. But I'll yeah, the next little video I'm just going to run you through the rigs that I've been using and the tackle and why I've got the rods set up on single bank sticks. Well, as you can probably see, sitting over there, we've probably got Rainbow's smallest carp, but after a frustrating day, like I say, a change of spot to get one in the net, I am absolutely over the moon. Harry's just out dropping another rod because he's just had a bream, and yeah, this rod here produced the carp for me. But I thought this is a good time just to show you through the rig and bait that I'm using now. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's extremely barbaric, but then for the conditions that we're fishing in, I suppose nothing else would really you know, would really be up to the test. So I've got a heavy lead-free submerged leader. I've got about 8 feet of that. On the end of it, I've done a figure of 8 loop, left a quite a large tag end. I'm sort of double leading, so you're putting the lead on the tag end and then passing it up through an anti-tangle sleeve, which is on your leader. So you're using sort of an 8 foot back lead, if you like, from where the rig's being dropped. I've got a big bore inline lead, inline drop-off kit. Goes in the top like so. A nice hefty 10-ounce gripper lead down to my 50-pound camo splice hook link. Now I've got about 12 inches of this, so I've got plenty of, well, give them enough rope, they'll hang themselves. So I've got plenty of material, 12 inches down to a double 20mm krill active hardened bottom baits. That's literally just fished multi-rig style, and that there, believe it or not, is the cut off top of the rubber that you get with the inline leads, and that's literally just holding everything in place, and I suppose at the same time acting as a little bit of a kicker. So when I'm getting a fish, I mean, I haven't actually had to change these hook links all week bar the hook. So if you're getting a fish, you just simply slide that off, change the hook, new hook bait on, and that's ready to drop. And as you can see in the bucket below, I've got a selection: 24mm krill active, 20mm active, and good old tiger nuts. And I'm literally putting that over each rod. It's probably a kilo and a half there. Lowering the rig in when the lead hits the bottom, lifting it up slightly, just moving it to straighten it all out, and that is what's been producing the goods. Well, it's hardly Big Fish Thursday. I suppose this one would be classed as live spawn out here if carp gave birth to live spawn, but you have to put the same amount of effort in to catch one of these as what you do to catch one of the big ones. And a lot of people seem to come here and they just throw these sort of fish up to 40-pound back. Now, for me, why would you do that? You come all this way, you've had to work equally as hard on every single bite. You can't pick and choose what pick your hook bait up. But on this occasion, on this fine sunny Thursday afternoon, this little one decided to pay me a visit. But the next one could be 5 times the size. Who knows? And I got my silly out. Oh, well, it's a bit of a quiet period. Let's have a little look at the setup. So as you can see, all the rods are on single sticks. And the reason for that is they are literally pointing directly at the snag. You're fishing locked up, absolutely zero clutch. The only bit of movement you've got is the tip. As the tip goes down, obviously the fish can take a tiny little bit, or they can, should I say, they can go a little bit further in, but the tip sort of acts as like a bungee. So they're sort of hanging themselves on that, and then you're picking the rod up and you're literally just walking back nice and slow, coaxing them away from the snag. So a single, I think that's a 48-inch storm pole, and as you can see, that's pushed right into sand. It isn't going to go anywhere at all. I've got the butt ring behind the buzzer for a bit of extra security. The orange tape, that's reflective tape, so when you're out in the boat at night you can spin the head torch around and you can see where you're coming back to. I've just got the little springer arms, and that's purely just to keep a little bit of tension, and that's as much movement as you've got in your bobbin. £50 submerged braid. I've got my old mags on. I've taken these all around the world with me and they've never let me down. And there isn't a place on earth where you're probably going to put your tackle under more test than what you are here. And it's a long way to come. So I brought something out that's super reliable and I know is going to do the job. Clutch is wound up tight. X5, 12'6", 3.5 pound test curve. And that's locked in there. And I've just angled that rear rest back slightly just to follow the way the rod's put on the rest. Now we are dropping from a boat, so obviously you could get away with using a lighter rod if you really wanted to, but the only downside with that is when you get a bite, if you've got a soft rod, you've got absolutely no backbone to pull them out. So the 12'6", 3.5", they're nice and stiff, got a lovely tip for playing them under when they get in the margins, but they've got plenty in the butt section to pull the fish out. And what we're having to do is get the bite, and because of the way the trees fall and not really knowing how far out the snags come, is we're walking back through this gap here, and when we get to the centre of the road we know that we're clear and we plan fish out in the open water. But yeah, that's the setup, that's how we're fishing it. Like I say, it hasn't always gone to plan, but I think we've done pretty well with our hook to land ratio so far. Right, a little bit of boat action. It's taken me until now to actually have the balls to come out with my phone. I'm not the best in the boat, and to be fair, this is about as straight as I've probably gone all week, and that's purely down to the fact that there's absolutely zero wind on the water. But I'm going to go out now. I say, just going to drop this rod back down, back into the snag, and I'm just going to show you the severity of the snags that I'm fishing in. Might not be the greatest camera work here because I'm not very good, like I say, in this boat, but safety first, life jacket's on. Although I can swim, and I'm sure a lot of people who go out in boats can swim, if you come out in the water and you haven't got one of these on, in my opinion, you're just a damn right idiot. There's absolutely no excuse, and even if you did fall in and you can swim, with the tackle that we're using, there's no way on this God-given planet that there isn't line, braid, lead core wrapped around these trees, and if you fell in and got it caught around your foot, there is no way that you're ever going to make the surface. And by the time that someone from the bank has noticed that you're out in the water, it's game over. So wear a life jacket, don't be a fool. So right, coming up to the snags now, I'm going to kill the motor. Hopefully I can turn this camera around. Can I turn it around? Nope, I can't. Right, I'm going to, in fact what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the video here and then I'm going to turn it around and restart. Right, so this is where I just had the bite from, just down here. I was a bit of a hero on a couple of occasions and I did get a bite from there. Now where that is there, let me just go forward a little bit. Where this is here, this has been my banker rod. So this has done me a couple of 50s, a 40 and the 60. It's hard to explain, but you've almost got to look at those trees on the island and imagine that if they fall in like that one has, how far they carry on coming out. So these ones here, I've had a good lead around, and I know that if I go just around this area here, it's nice and clear. Because I'm not the best in the boat, what I like to do is I like to chuckle my bait over the edge to start with, circle myself back around, get myself in position ready to leave the snag, and then lower the rigging, because the last thing you want to be doing is lowering the rig down, turning the boat around only to find that your line has gone over a snag and then you're not direct to your two leads then. But yeah, that's one of my rods in this little gap down here. There's another, that tree that's sort of where we're going there. I've got a rod just the other side of that tree there, and then got another one just under that little stump there. And believe it or not, just down there is about 12 or 14 foot, and right up the back is 8 foot, so it drops away really, really quickly, but you have got to be locked up and on your rods. But yeah, that's the spot that's done me the most amount of bites. It's nice and clear underneath. You can feel the sand, pretty much like the sand that's in our peg. You can feel the sand underneath when you're dropping the rod down. And like I say, you're dropping it down, lifting it back up, straightening the rig out, coming out the swim, or should I say out the snag. And yeah, hopefully there's another carp to be caught. proper carp though. Double in. I'll drop the lead, I don't think. Yes! Boom, boom, that's it. Lovely times. Yes! Yes!
Lovely times.
Lovely times. Lovely. Well, only a couple of hours of Big Fish Thursday left. It hasn't quite lived up to his name, but another rainbow common. Probably just over £20 this one, but it's 2 out of 2 from my last 2 bites. Change of spot, change of fortune. Guess there's one more big one waiting for us. Lovely evening though this evening. Couple of nights left to go. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful evening. Lovely sunset. No rain, which is a bonus, and we managed to dry all the kit out. So yeah, nice to be dry and holding a carp. A couple of water. Well, rods are all set for the evening. A couple of things there drying out. Look at that for a lovely evening. The fish have been fed. Now time for us to have a little bit of food. So tonight, Thursday night, is for heater night. Look at that little bad boy. Chicken, bit of bacon in there as well, garlic, peppers and mushrooms, a boatload of cheese. I've been to a few restaurants in my time, but none with a view quite like this. Well, food's on the go. Boiling up a few more tigers. Harry's just going out to reposition a rod. That rod there of mine has done me a couple of bites today. Nothing big, but I suppose every one you catch is closer to catching a real whopper. Like I keep saying, if nothing else transpires for the rest of this trip, my God, what a trip, what a place this is. Somewhere that I've wanted to come for years. You see it back in the heyday, you know, when the likes of Martin Lock, Paul Hunt, they were all coming over here catching big carp. It was like, I suppose, the pinnacle of European or French fishing, I suppose you could say. That and Cassian were the 2 waters that I certainly heard the most about. I've been to Cassian, I've caught from there, and this was the other lake that I would have dearly loved to have caught carp from. And Rainbow certainly hasn't disappointed. What an absolutely phenomenal place. 2 nights to go, who knows what could happen. Well, Big Fish Thursday didn't live up to its expectation, so we'll go for Fat Fish Friday. Check this bad boy out. A smidge under £58. What an absolute beast. Look at the mouth on that thing. A proper rainbow beast. And my full fish over £50. Look at that. What a carp. Spin it round. What an absolutely massive carp. Always like to handle the big fish more in the water. If they want to kick and go back, they can. Look at that. Glistening away in the French sun. Look at that for a mouth. Oh, she's feisty. Look at that. What a carp. Let's get her back. Look at that. Another rainbow giant. Look at the width on that as it goes away. Here she goes, nice and fit. Yes. Oh. What a result. Yes. Well, it's the final evening. Harry's chilling. Most of the gear's packed away. And it's been an uneventful day. Had that 50-pounder earlier on. Lost one on that rod not long ago. Look at that for a final evening at Rainbow. We've had a few bites during the week throughout the night, so it isn't over just yet. This peg apparently is renowned for doing some decent fish later on in the week. Who knows? Who knows and who cares? It's been an absolutely brilliant week. Yeah, at times it's been frustrating. Obviously you come here and you want to land everything you hook. But I think the nature of the lake means that that's probably nigh impossible. But looking at the fish that we've had, Jesus, it's been a hell of a list of big fish. But I'm sure there's still one more in store for us. There's the bivvy all packed away. Full bottle of Coke, surprised I've not drunk that. Yep, boat's ready to rock and roll, life jacket sat there. Yeah, what a brilliant, brilliant week it's been. Hopefully, the next time I'm doing a little bit of filming, I've got another big fat rainbow carp in my hands. But if not, it's been an absolute blast. And I'll do a final update just before I depart tomorrow. And that is it. Rainbow 2020. Almost wrapped up. Van's partly loaded, or should I say most of the way loaded. Bivvy's down. One last scan of the swim, get the rods in, clean it up, and leave it as we found it. What an absolutely phenomenal trip it's been. Before we came, I know Harry's been to Rainbow a couple of times before. Like I said before, I've tried to avoid sort of comparing what I'd be able to do to anyone else. And I've come out here, or should I say we've come out here as a pair. We've come as a group of anglers. Rob's come with us, and then two of our other friends, Scotty and Courtney, they've come, and we fished as mates. And we've all had our own personal challenges and personal goals out here. Mine was to catch a 50-pounder, which I achieved in the first night, and then went on to catch one even bigger. What an absolutely magical place. I've honestly never ever been anywhere like this. Anywhere that I've ever fished. I've never even seen anywhere that would offer this type of fishing. Totally different, don't get me wrong. I've made a few balls up through the week, cost me a couple of fish, but I think if you come to a place like this and you win them all, you've done very, very well. I won't be the first angler to lose a carp here, and I certainly won't be the last. What an absolutely gorgeous place. Look at that. How nice is that? I'll miss this view. All there is to do now is to go home and spend 2 weeks sat down because of quarantine, which can only mean one thing. By the end of it, I should be bloody good on Call of Duty. Until next time, I hope you've enjoyed watching it. This is my first ever attempt at a blog. It's by no means did I expect it to be a Spielberg production. It's just something that I'm going to try and do as regular as possible. I'm going to knock them together on my iPhone. My editing skills are about as good as my dietary skills, so don't expect miracles. But I've got a camera, or should I say an iPhone, that says it's recording in 4K, so that must mean it's a good enough quality. But yep, until next time, thanks for watching. Hope it's turned out alright. If you're going to leave a comment, make sure it's positive, because I get a few negative ones come my way. But then I suppose, if you're being negative to me, it saves someone else. What do you reckon, Hazel?
Been a good trip. Enjoyed it.
Jesus Christ. He's about as enthusiastic as I was at the start of the week. Right. Thank you and good night.